if the path is bad and obstruction is good. If the path is bad and obstruction is good. And Balaam was on a bad path. He was not a path. He was going his direction rather than listening to the voice of God in his life. And the truth is God speaks to every one of us, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then the third operative voice is God's voice. We have Balaam's voice, we have the voice of the ass, and then we have the voice of God. And after Balaam turns, after he breaks that stride, going in the direction he thought he was supposed to go, or he wanted to go, he then gets onto God's path, and then it's fulfilled. He gets on the right path, he curses the army, or he blesses the army of Israel, and they end up slaughtering the Moabites. All right, now there's more to Balaam's story about his own personal story, and that's a story for another day. But the truth is there are three operative voices. There's Balaam's, the voice of any human. And there's that voice, that the fool, the ass, the jackass in life. And I know that sounds silly, but it's really true. That oftentimes in life it is the voice we least expect. It is the voice that maybe doesn't have any social credibility. It's just a person that has the power to turn us off of the wrong path and get us onto the right path of following God's voice in our life. I'm here simply to tell you this, folks. You are Balaam. The power resides in every one of you to change the world. As individuals, as a collective, as couples, as a family. In your own families, in this new community. The power is within you. You have the power of voice. You have the power of taking God's voice within you, speaking it, living it, being an instrument of God's love in the world, being an instrument of God's truth in the world, and changing the world. And if you don't believe that you have that power, I am here to tell you point blank, you are wrong. The donkey. That's me. Truly. I'm here to do only one thing. I'm here to help you turn off that path of doing simply what you always think is right and tune you into that voice of God in your life. I am here to turn you up. I know I'm going to go this way. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And I'm here to turn around and say, is this what God wants for you? Are you listening to the voice of God in your life? Are you getting on the path? Are you following the call of God in your life? I'm not here to tell you what's right and what's wrong, or you're right and you're wrong. I'm simply here to lay before you the question. Do you hear the voice of God in your life? Where is God speaking in your life? How does God speak to you? And finally, what is God speaking in your heart? What is it that is stirring deep within your soul? And I mean you as an individual. And the truth is, every single one of us has a stirring. Every single one of us has a voice. Our connection to God inside, that voice inside speaking to us what we need for our lives, what we need to be doing differently, where we need to be going. And I'm here to tell you, folks, it is only following that path. And it's not just about, be good, be good, be good. Like we've been told in religion for years and years and years, that God should just be good, be good, be good. That's what it's all about. No. We're talking about something very different here. We're talking about that voice inside that releases new passion, breathes new life in you, gives you a new sense of focus, gives you a new sense of purpose, gives you a new sense of direction, and enlivens you. That's what Jesus was talking about when he says, I've come that you might have life and have it abundantly. That's that abundant life. It's being on fire. It's being passionate about this new way. Balaam was going this way, and then he gets on and goes this way, following the call of God within him, and it animated. Breathe life into him. It's not about being good, folks. The truth is, as Luther said, we're all simul justus et peccator. Simultaneously saint and sinner. You being good, that's between you and God. I'm not here to say, be good, and you're being bad, and so on and so forth. I'm not here for finger wagging. That's not my job.
I'm bad.
Yeah, I knew that. I didn't want to pull you out.
I saw the look.
Your honesty is commendable. What a guy.
I've tried to hide for 40 years, but
yeah, you're out now. You're bummed. I know. But there's truth in it. To be flawed but real. To understand that we are flawed. That it's not. Is integrity important? Absolutely. It is being a person of noble purpose. Important. Yes, that's what it's about. Following that call of noble purpose. Following that call of God inside. And I exist simply to unleash that, to help you unleash that, to light that fire under you, to lay the questions before you, and to somehow bridge that divide, to make the ends meet of you and God. Because until you are on that path, and you know this, you already know this, I'm only telling you what you already know, that until you are on that path of following the call of God inside you, truthfully, I'm just telling you point blank, this is just fact. I mean, it's not even biblical. It is biblical, but so much as it's just life. Until you are following that call of God deep inside you, whatever God is calling you to do, you will not know joy. You will not know peace. You won't. But once you do, you will know invigoration. You will know excitement. You will know a stirring in your soul. You will know a passion. You will know a sense of purpose as you have not known before. And you've had taste before of it in your life, haven't you? You have. But now is the time. Now is the time. There's always fear that goes along with it, but now is the time. So my question for you is simply this. Simply this. To what is God calling you as an individual? The voice has been in there nagging me for a while, hasn't it? Has it been a month? Has it been a year? Has it been 10 years? See, one of the messages that Jesus puts in one of his core fundamental messages, my first and greatest commandment is love God. My second one like it is love your neighbor as yourself. So whatever that calling is, it's fused with that notion of love. We're called to be bearers, instruments of God's love in the world. But how each one of us carries that out is different because each one of us is given a radically different set of gifts. And the joy in life is being an instrument of love using the gifts God has given me. That's the fun part. If you were to ask me to be an instrument of God's love in the world as a honest auto mechanic, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't enjoy it. Could I figure out how to fix a car after years and years and years of hard work and strenuous labor? Yes. And could I be honest? Yes. But it wouldn't be joyful for me. All right? Ask somebody else if they would be interested in being an instrument of God's love as a pastor. They'd say, no way. You couldn't pay me enough. I mean, it'd be torture. Each of us has a unique set of gifts. We're called to be instruments of God's love in the world, using the gifts God has given us, and that's where the joy is. You're using your God's gifts, and you're feeding others, breathing life in others by being that instrument of love. So the question is simply this. To what is God calling you? As an individual, as a couple, for those of you who are married, as a family, and now, should you choose, as a collective. See, I believe in swinging through the fence. I believe that when I am 85, I want to be sitting in my rocking chair, knowing that I swung through the fence. Knowing that God gave me these gifts. Knowing that God gave me these gifts and I unleashed them. And even if I failed with honor. I failed shooting for a noble purpose. I failed swinging for the fence. But if I succeeded, all the better. Swing for the fence, folks. Is it scary? You bet. You bet it is. Was it scary for me to come back to Dayton? Yeah. You want to know what? This has been one of my dreams forever. And there's always that notion of starting your business. You're going to succeed. You're going to fail. You know? Some of you know that. Some of you have started your own business. Some of you have your own business. Some of you have done it in the past. You know, it's scary too. And it doesn't have to be just starting your business. Starting your relationship. Taking your existing relationship in a new direction. Scaling back from work. Whatever it might be. But the call is there. And the truth is this, folks. The truth is this. God will put the obstruction in the path. The path is bad and obstruction is good. How does your obstruction come? Desperation. Losing a mate. Losing a child. Losing a job. Losing your health. Losing what? Losing a sense of love. Losing a sense of fulfillment deep in your soul. The Bible is just this long history book of God sometimes kicking our behinds to get us onto the right path. God sending donkeys and angels to obstruct their path. I can tell you story after story after story in the Bible. God trying to get you off that path that's killing you, and you know it's killing you. You know it. It's bleeding the life out of you, and you know it. You don't need me to tell you. But it stinks having somebody standing up in front of you telling you, remember, your life's bleeding the life out of you, isn't it? Gosh, I didn't go to church for this. There's got to be another church. There's got to be another church. Why did I go? Why did I go? Why did I go? It's there, isn't it?